but the loudspeaker was bad, and it was difficult to understand what was being said. In a chair by the wall sat a middle-aged man in a blue sports shirt, dozing. There was no one behind the desk. He set down his suitcase and peered into the long hall. It was empty. A big clock hung silent on the wall, its hands lodged at 10:15. He cleared his throat loudly, but nothing happened, so he went to the couch. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said softly to one of the women. "I hate to interrupt you, but there doesn't seem to be a desk clerk around." The woman looked up. "You want a room?" she asked. "Yes, I do." "Well," she said, nodding her head toward the sleeping man, "that's Billy there. Give him a push." He hesitated. "Never mind," the woman said. "It's the commercial anyway." She strained to her feet, walked over to the desk, and brought the flat of her hand down on a rusted call bell. "Billy!" The man mumbled something. "Billy, now." "Well, that's the way it is. You just hold on and I'll get Mrs. Pearl Lambert." The woman went into the hall and knocked on one of the doors. It opened and there was a muffled conversation. Presently another woman came out. She was extremely short, perhaps not quite 5 feet tall, and her face was parchmented and wrinkled. But there was a definite swing to her stride. She had on a thin kimono. "I'm Mrs. Pearl Lambert," she said. "I was cooling off in my room, looking at the TV." She smiled at the first woman, who had resumed her station on the couch. "Thank you, Luce. Billy, I think, would sleep through a 3-alarm fire. But he's a good boy. He helps me around the place a lot." "I'm sure he does." "Well, now, I suppose you're after a room." The little woman stepped behind the desk and opened a drawer. "Our singles run $3.50 a night, depending on how long you plan to stay with us." "I think I'll be here quite a while, Mrs. Lambert." "Over a week?" "Oh, I think longer than that. Probably several months." The woman's eyes gleamed. "Then the charge is $2.50. We always reduce it for our temporary permanent guests." "That's very nice of you." "It's just fair, that's all. We like to be fair in this town. Why should a temporary permanent guest have to pay as much as the people that just flit in and out?" She found a dusty registration card, pushed it forward. He wrote, "Adam Kramer," paused, listed the Union Hotel, Caxton, as his address. "I'll put you in number 25. That's upstairs." The woman thumped her fist on the call bell 6 times. "Billy!" The middle-aged man awoke with a start, looked around, got up. "Yes, Mrs. Lambert. I was just resting." "I thought you'd taken root. Billy, this is Mr. Kramer. He's going to be with us for a while." The middle-aged man blushed. "I'm proud to know you, Mr. Kramer." "Go on up to 25, the woman said, "and get it aired out, and see if Mabel does it, too." "Yes'm." "That boy," the woman chuckled. She plucked a key from the pigeonhole. "It'll only take a minute. I wouldn't want you to step into a dusty room. Mabel's a good old worker, but sometimes she gets forgetful. I have to keep after her. But then I ought to have something to do around here." The ladies on the couch laughed suddenly in unison. Through the blizzard of white specks on the television screen, a cowboy with a guitar bowed. "You're welcome to come down here and watch the TV any time," Mrs. Pearl Lambert said. "That would be nice." The heat had soaked into his clothes now, and perspiration dripped into his collar. "I suppose you're a salesman?" "No. Do I look like a salesman?" "Not exactly. But that and railroad men are about all we ever get in Caxton. And I know you ain't a railroad man." The little woman cocked her head to one side. "It's not a solitary bit of my business," she said. "But what line are you in anyway?" "You might call me a social worker, Mrs. Lambert," he said. The 3 women on the couch laughed again. "I'm here to do what I can for the town. I read about your difficulties." "What difficulties is that?" "The integration issue, Mrs. Lambert." "Oh?" The woman stared. "But that's all over. I mean, they got 12 niggers enrolled at the school already, it says in the paper. Started up Monday. Do you think it's right?"